Welcome back. I'm Wyatt Goolsby in for Lauren Ashburn. A 2-year-old toddler is among 3 children shot and killed in Chicago in recent days. The shooting was caught on camera. We want to warn you, the video is disturbing. The video, streamed live on Facebook, was taken from inside a car driven by a woman who was wounded in the shooting. Police say a man killed in the shooting was the target of a gang hit. President Trump told a group of law enforcement leaders last week that America is facing a public safety crisis.
Every child in America should be able to play outside without fear, walk home without danger, and attend a school without being worried about drugs or gangs or violence.
Joining me now is Patrick Burke, Executive Director of the Washington, D.C. Police Foundation. He's also a former U.S. Marshal for D.C. and former Assistant Chief of the Washington, D.C. Police Department. Pat, this past week in Chicago, 3 children died of gunshot wounds within 3 days. One of them was a little girl just 2 years old. You were on the front lines as a police officer for years. What do you think needs to happen to change in these communities?
Well, first of all, I think there's the realization that it's not just a police issue. It's a societal issue where the basic institutions need to step in. Is there a good family structure? Is there religion in a young person's life? What sort of education system is there in place? So it's really the entire collaborative system working together to help these young people into better situations.
How practically do you think communities can do that? Because, and especially, how do you reach out to kids who tend to be the most at risk?
Well, I think it starts with families and school and some basic structures. When young people may not have a stable family environment to live in, they're automatically at risk. If they've got a parent who's in the prison system or on drugs, they're at some type of risk. So once again, it takes some key player to step in, whether it's a coach, a grandparent sometimes, a teacher at school, a priest, to step in to give some kid guidance, and sometimes it's the police officers as well.
President Trump has been talking about crime, at least he was asked about crime in large cities. But as you well know, children in both large and small cities have to deal with these kind of problems. So you're talking about the drugs and crime, especially on a daily basis. What role, because you mentioned religion, what role can faith-based organizations do to combat this issue? Well,
I think it's the structure of the institutions and the support that religious institutions provide as well, reaching out to people that are in crisis with the opioid epidemic, for example, where people need services to guide them. And we realize from the police perspective, we can't arrest our way out of these problems. We need all the social services to interact, and with a lot of the police, negative police interactions in the community that we've seen for the past couple of years, to get the police involved with young people and positive interactions at earlier ages as well.
And that's why I say it's so important for individuals, whether it's coaches, priests, people to step up to be that positive role model.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we encourage the D.C. Police Foundation as well as the bridge between police and community relations are to get younger people involved with the police department to understand why they do what they do and to build those positive interactions.
Well, maybe we can talk a little bit more about that, because you just started the organization that works with law enforcement in the community to do that. What do you plan to do, and how to do that through the foundation to make it safer for kids to play?
Well, one of the things that I saw from the police department side when I ran recruiting as a chief there is, and one thing we'd like to do is, of course, recruit minority applicants from cities like D.C. to be public safety officers. So D.C., for example, ran a cadet program where we would hire young people that were graduates of D.C. high schools, pay them $32,000 a year, give them 2 years of free college education, and then when they turn 21, they'd become a police officer. One of the challenges we had locally is by the time kids come through high school, they're already involved in the criminal justice system. So one of the great things the Police Foundation does with our private sector partners and the police department help is really try to reach out to kids at younger ages. 5th grade, junior cadet program, building police community relations through field trips and bringing police into schools to work with kids. Hopefully through the Explorer program, which we're working on now, through middle school kids. And we just this past year started a partnership with the Anacostia High School and the Public Safety Academy to work these kids through a public safety curriculum and hopefully into the cadet corps and into police careers.
Absolutely. You have to start young. Patrick Burke, Executive Director of the Washington, D.C. Police Foundation. Thanks so much for talking with us.
Thank you so much.